Hello and welcome to another episode of artofarlomoon. Eventually I'll get a real intro maybe. Artofarlomoon. So on this episode I was going to finally, this has been taking forever to do, but to get to, partly because I kind of get sidetracked and distracted on what I want to do. I don't know. It's kind of good in a way because it's good to have plans and all that, but it's nice just to kind of get in the mood of whatever you want to do, instead of having everything so planned. I mean, I plan stuff, but you have to plan things in life, right? So this is my normal kind of MO. On the other videos I've done, I do a little bit of messing with it, kind of the process or whatever. I showed you some of it. I was doing stencil videos a couple times there, which is not really what I do normally. And the sketchbook stuff is fun, and the rest of it, I just didn't want it to be exactly the same thing all the time. But basically, if you see, this is my, I was going to check this out, see if this works with the ding. This is one of my pencil drawings I did 100 years ago. Okay, it's last year. Seems like 100 years ago. And I'm going to botch the name, but his name is Anton LeVey, I believe. I don't know, it's a controversial character. A lot of people hated him in the 20th century. He's the founder of the Satanic Church in San Francisco. I'm doing this piece. We'll see if it gets in or whatever. Doing this piece, working on this piece for a show that's I have issues or whatever with in a general sense, but it's an art show, so whatever. It's a cat show, so that was my little pop twist on it or whatever. And it's arguable if this is pop, really. I mean, it is pop, but it's more like niche pop. Because it's Anton LeVey. Again, am I botching his name? I might be. So you're like, wow, why would you do a pop figure Anton LeVey? I thought that myself initially, but I think it's kind of a joke. It's kind of the comedy of it. I like jokes. Although it's a good piece, I think it's interesting too. So you got somewhat of a character who's considered, a lot of people really hated. A lot of Christian people hated him. He was considered one of the most evilest people, if that's a word, in the 20th century. A lot of people hated him for, founding the Satanic Church and all the other stuff. Anyway, so basically, a lot of people hated him, but that's kind of the point. It's kind of funny. I think it's kind of funny. I don't know. But then he's also with a cat. So, theme is cats, and it's family friendly. There's nothing really graphic in this video, graphic in this image. It's on a nice yellow and orange panel. I've kind of painted the panel backgrounds. That's what I used to do. So I take my drawings and photocopy them. I've explained this to other people. Some people don't understand what I'm talking about. You can manipulate them that way. I also, it comes out to be, I used to draw them, and then they were in a book, so I was like, how am I going to process this drawing out of a book? So that's kind of why I went to photocopying them, because they look like ink a lot of times. I did repaint them at one point at the beginning. Let's see if I do anything. I'm just going to talk through this whole thing. Let's see what happens. Yeah, so I'm back. I had an issue with the computer there. It was processing a video and it was an issue. But yeah, using these HUs, they're different color HUs, like stickers basically. I use them all day, so it's kind of, I don't know what it is. Some kind of obsessive thing or something. So then I had extras, so I was like, yeah, some extra here. Let me mess around with them. So then they're kind of fun because I got those barcodes. I get to go to where I make my own or whatever eventually. But these are just excess ones that I had laying around. And it's stickers. So then, there's a question mark. It is a mixed media. Technical definition is mixed media because it's got a bunch of things. Usually it's drawing and painting mixed together. This is more like a collage kind of deal in a way. I really like collage too. It's fun to put together things as randomly. In my head, a lot of times there's a problem with it, though, in a sense of, for me, not for, again, is this for anybody else? No, I don't sit there and judge other people's artwork the same way I judge myself or my own artwork. All my stinking rules are for myself. So, the arguments I can use against it, or that I feel like I'm uncomfortable about, or whatever, don't always apply to everybody else because, well, it's like stickers, and then what's the viability or what justifies that as acceptable? I don't know, but I think purely from the aesthetics of it, because it's not painting and whatever. I just got so much crap on my hand there. That's good. That's what we need. Get. You wonder. Well, I do. Whatever. I mean, is that good enough or whatever? I think it's just, if you don't think so much, it's okay. Because there's just stuff all over this because my tripod, or not tripod, my I don't know how to say. Easel here is painted, of course, right? So I'm sticking it to that. So we're getting stuff all over it, of course. But anyway, I just feel I'm not sure about some of the stuff. But then I think I like the way the way it comes out. There's been a couple people had interest. It's not all about sales, I know, blah, blah, blah. But to me, it's a horrible thing that's justifiable because I sold it. But at some level, as I say that, but on the other hand, it is kind of how I feel a lot of times. Like, people went and had to earn their money and get their money, maybe they're billionaires or whatever, but they had to make money somehow, so they're willing to put their money on it, that they've spent time. They traded their time to make, that's a good way to say it, I think. They traded their time to get money, so now they're willing to trade the money for a piece of art that you made. So kind of at some level, which again, do I want to make economics the most connected point, or does it make it more valid if somebody spends money on it? I don't really know if that's true, because a lot of art didn't sell, and it's still just as valid as the rest of it, so I don't know. But personally, yes, I kind of feel that way. I hate that in a way, because I haven't really had that many sales this year, so by that equation, what does that matter? What, how valid can that be? So, I don't know. Maybe that's something I need to work on personally, but I tend to think that, yes. So it's nice to sell a piece. It's nice to sell pieces, and if somebody thought it was valuable enough to purchase, then it must be valuable, at least at some level. Maybe that's, again, is that stupid? Probably is pretty stupid. Value is very interesting, art in general, and interpretation of value, and economics, the economic components of art and how things work. It's just a very subjective kind of thing. Anyway, we'll time lapse this so in a million years. You get the idea, kind of filling over the top. It actually helps the seams go away. I don't know if it makes it more permanent, because that's not, I don't know if that's true, because your sticker's on a little panel, but I do a bunch of other stuff. But anyway, that's kind of the element. It gives that background, the aura, or whatever you want to call it. It has these barcodes, so I think that's really interesting. I'm going to make my own barcode eventually, so I don't get in trouble, first of all, number one. and second of all, so it's more like unique. Hey, we'll time-lapse the rest. We'll at least some of it. We'll see what happens. Hey, so I actually spent some of the time off the camera. My camera died, of course. The battery died on it again. It doesn't last very long, and I would often forget to check the amount that's left. But you see how at the last part I had added. I was painting and I added the bottom part. I'm not going to paint in the cat or his face because it really stands out with the black and white. But I just want to show you this real quick and show you the end result. I paint in the background. You like segment the colors, which I got from my cousin. He used to paint these in high school with ink, and I was really influenced by that. I didn't really do it until like years and years and years later, but when you're doing abstract painting, it's just random and stuff. You see the variance between the orange and the yellow just because you do randomness. And I like to think I influenced Adam Hernandez too, by the way, for his color scheme or whatever, color field. But yeah, it's interesting when you segment it, so it comes out like an interesting effect. So this background is abstract, then you got the HUs, and I actually outlined the HUs with black, and then I got the drawing, and then his coat, which is like a jacket or whatever, I highlighted, reverse highlighted, or whatever you want to call it, with black. So it's kind of, I don't know, I haven't put my signature on there, and it still has just the panel. It's only panel thin, which it's usually got a thick, a pretty thick profile. So you got to like nail through that. So there's still some stuff to do, but it's pretty much finished. If you like this video at all, please push the like button or like it. Of course, if you spend anything interesting about it, maybe do that. And then if you could subscribe, that'd really be sweet. I'm trying to build it up. So anybody wants to help me out in that would be really great. Maybe forward it or comment. If you do sub, comment, because I only have so many subs, so I would like to thank you personally, just with a message or whatever. Just write it in the comments. It'd be really great. Anybody enjoyed this, I appreciate it. Anybody who viewed it, thanks. And go out and make some art today.